What is going on, YouTube? Back on the bike again. Here today with a bike review, actually. Pretty stoked about it. We've got a 2019 Canyon Strive CF 8.0. So like I said, today I'm gonna give a quick review of the 2019 Canyon Strive CF 8.0. For a little bit of context, I'm coming off of a size large, or a 19.5 Trek / 9.9. That bike was sweet, but it was a little bit of a monster truck for me. Didn't feel quite right. But I wanted, a 160, 150. Honestly, it's a little overkill for a lot of the trails that I ride, but I like having the ability to be able to kind of go on any trail I wanted. If you saw my previous video, I did a quick tutorial on something called the ShapeShifter 2.0. Essentially, it's a mini piston that sits in the shock frame, and you've got these two modes right here, click and clack, essentially downhill and climb, and that slightly alters the geometry of the bike. So in theory you have kind of two bikes in one. So I was intrigued by that, wanted to test it out. So I found one for a great deal in the local classifieds and ended up picking it up. So right now I'm in the climb mode, and compared to my Trek, I feel like I'm in a much more comfortable climbing position in this bike. It just feels normal and natural to me, which is nice. So I appreciate that. It also kind of stiffens up the rear end, so in out of the saddle type climbing situations, I don't feel like I'm bobbing the suspension a ton. It feels snappy, and it definitely feels like there's some power when I put it to the pedal. So I really like that. It's still a long travel, semi-slack bike. So, if you're comparing it to, trail bikes with 120, 130 in the rear, 130, 140, it's not as quick. And the other thing I got to say is that ShapeShifter makes the bike heavy. I think I weighed this in at right around 30 pounds. All my other bikes have been around 27, so another 3 pounds, I can definitely feel it on the climbs. Spec list for this, you run in the Fox 36 Elite Performance up front, and the Fox DPX2 in the rear. So, a step down from factory, but essentially the same type of system. So I'm not going to complain about it. Drivetrain on this is an Eagle, a SRAM Eagle 1x12 X01. So X01 shifter, X01 derailleur, but GX Eagle cassette and chain. Cranks are going to be those Truvativ Descent carbon crank. It does come with a carbon bar. I ended up switching it out for this end Minar bar 2, which I really think honestly just looks really cool. And then of course it's got the Reynolds carbon rim set 29er, and I believe they come stock with Maxxis DHR and DHF, 2.3 or 2.4, I'm not sure which. And then for all your stopping needs, you've got the SRAM Codars. I've been a Shimano guy for a super long time, and was kind of hesitant to switch over to SRAM, just because I really do like the on-off feel of Shimano, and their maintenance is very easy, but I actually enjoy it. The bike, when I bought it, the guy had only ridden it like once or twice. I mean, he still had the dork disc sitting on the back of the cassette, and a bunch of, you know, warning stickers still on the bike. So, you know, definitely picked it up for a really great price, about $1,000 under what they're currently selling this bike for online. So at that price point, I mean, you're getting XO1, you're getting carbon everything, carbon frame, carbon bar, carbon crank, carbon rim. I mean, I've built up some bikes, and you can't really buy that specless for $3 or so. So that's pretty awesome. Canyon is a direct to consumer. I know that they have some retail stores. I live in Utah, so, you know, nothing where I'm at, but nonetheless, you know, you kind of buy off their website. I did have to call into their customer service. As I mentioned in my last video, I was having some issues with the ShapeShifter, but they're very responsive and knowledgeable. So, you know, when you have Canyon bike specific needs, they're there, and everything else you can just take to your local bike shop. So we've been climbing about 30 minutes now. It's my first time climbing on the bike, first ride out actually. So initial impressions is it's pretty good. I had an Evil Following V2 2018 about a year ago, and that bike probably climbed the best out of all of mine. So definitely not to that standard, but that's a 120/140. So not gonna complain. Other than that, you know, I think we're gonna get to the top of the trail here and then turn it on for the descent. We'll switch the mode over on this side and see how it feels going down. All right, so we are gonna start our descent here. Click this button here, pump the bike a little bit. There we go, you can kind of feel it. Yeah. All right, let's go. Cornering, not bad. Very, very plush and supple off the top for sure. Yeah, I can tell this thing's gonna be fun. Just to pop off of everything. Take the high side. It's much shorter, you know, from like a reach perspective than my Trek. So it's definitely gonna take some getting used to, but man, does suspension feel good. Wow. This feels just confidence inspiring. I mean, feels awesome. Even in those brake bumps right there, you know, I don't feel like I'm losing control. Oh, missed that one. That's right. Didn't have enough speed for that. Oh yeah. Awesome. First impressions are this thing's awesome. Man, I'm liking this. This is gonna feel real good through the more kind of flow sections. Oh. Yeah. This thing feels so planted. Oh, a little too much there. That thing's riding awesome. I'd say uphill, maybe 7 out of 10. Downhill, 9 out of 10 for sure. Pump through here. Gets a little sandy, so easy to wash out. Oh, they built the berm up right there. Very nice. Yeah, these brake bumps just don't feel like anything. Feels awesome. Okay, this is my favorite section. Right here. Excuse me, thank you guys. Yeah. Nice, another canyon. Yeah. That's a first for me. By the way, I'm on Rush and Corner Canyon, in case y'all were wondering. Whoa, which trail I'm on. I grew up riding these trails, even actually helped build a large portion of this trail, so it's been fun to grow up and ride it and continue to use these trails. Oh, the dreaded boulder right there. I've gone off the trail so many times. Tabletop. Nice. This is a new section of Rush. Can't remember when. Oh, shoot. Wow, it's gotten rocky. Still fun. This thing is eating this chunk up. Brakes still feel good. Well, we're finishing up our ride here in good old Corner Canyon, Utah. Thanks for joining me today. You know, Canyon Strive CF 8.0, awesome bike. Highly recommend. It's kind of an all-arounder quiver killer. Until next time, keep on riding, dudes.